All right, welcome back. So now I want to basically add relations. Why do I want to add relations? Because the assignment seems to have a relationship between these tables or these objects. I would tell you that when you're creating queries, you have the ability to also create the relations there, but a good, competent database person would create the relations first, sort of like default relationships, and then the query would just naturally use those relationships. And I will show those as we get to that part. So let's get out of that, get to Access. So how do we do that? Well, relations are a database thing. So you're going to go to database, and you got this thing called relationships, which thankfully looks like a bunch of tables that are hooked together. So we're going to click on the relationships. I'm going to bring in departments. I'm going to bring in employees. I'm going to bring in jobs. Now I'm going to cheat and bring it in so it looks very similar to the way I showed it in the assignment. But also the way I showed it in the assignment is the thing that makes sense. Employees is kind of the main driver here of this particular set of tables. The departments is just basically looking up stuff about the departments. The jobs is looking up stuff about the jobs, but it's really the employees that's important, because without employees, there's really no relevance for departments and jobs. That's what I think anyway. So a couple of things to make it look nicer. I'm going to take this guy and expand it a little bit. Cool beans. So now I can see all the objects or the columns in my little tables. The department ID is a primary key, employee ID is a primary key, job ID is a primary key, department ID is the primary key here, it's the foreign key here. So I'm going to take and I'm going to click on department ID, drag down, let go, and go create. That gives myself a nice relationship. You're going to do the same thing with job ID. Job ID, click and go down and go create. I can't help it. I got to instruct a little bit here. At this point, I'm done what I want to do with this video. You guys, I hope, will understand that these guys don't have to have the same name. It's just very nice that whoever set up the tables, they do have the same names. And they don't even in theory have to have the same data type. They just have to be equal. The values have to be equal. And so I'm basically saying that if there's a value here, it is going to match the primary key of this object here. If there's a value in job ID, it's going to match the primary key of the table of jobs. All right. So I think that is good for this. The next video is where I'm going to create a query with these objects.